Hi, I'm Catherine Gordon. Welcome to the Sugar Freedom Channel. Today's topic is how I healed my sugar addiction, step 1. Step 1 was I had to learn to handle my hunger by replacing the foods that made me hungry with foods and beverages that kept me nourished and satisfied. Now, if you go to my website, catherinetraining.com, you will find my 3-day sugar detox. And that was the way I ate and the beverages I drank in order to get off of sugar and start my journey to get free of sugar for good. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about one of the beverages that I drink to stay in recovery from sugar addiction, and that is apple cider vinegar in water. Why am I talking about ACV again? An article showed up in my email inbox that I want to share with you. This is the article, and it's titled, Obesity Drug Shortage Triggers Frustrations and Workaround. The glucagon-like peptide GLP-1 agonist semaglutide, formulated for treating obesity, it's also called Wegovy, had a roaring takeoff a little more than a year ago, with surging patient demand after the FDA approved it in June of 2021. Starting doses of Wegovy went missing in action starting in late 2021 and continue to date, frustrating patients and their healthcare providers. If you want to read this article, it's fascinating, I recommend it. Please click the link in the description. But what does this have to do with apple cider vinegar? I dug into the article, and you can too, and my understanding is that Wegovy is a GLP-1 receptor agonist. Now, why is this important? Because the action of Wegovy helps to reduce appetite, and this is why the drug was and is so popular, is that the people who get the opportunity to use it experience this wonderful reduction in appetite. Now, of course, there are costs. You have to slowly work your way up in the dose. The drug is very expensive, as many popular drugs are. But what is really important about this video and what I want to share with you is that when I researched Wegovy and I learned about how Wegovy works, all I could think was, this sounds like the research I've been doing on apple cider vinegar. Because if you go back, and there's another video, and I will link to it in the description, I just did a video on apple cider vinegar, and I've also done another video quite a while ago on how apple cider vinegar affects appetite. But what I have learned recently is that apple cider vinegar has 2 actions that can help reduce appetite. It delays gastric emptying, and it also has an effect on GLP-1. And so I'm going to link to this study and then another study that demonstrates how it affects GLP-1. The study that I'm going to share is vinegar as a functional ingredient to improve postprandial glycemic control, human intervention findings, and molecular mechanisms. Now, here's the important part. The molecular mechanisms by which vinegar can improve glycemic control have been presented using human, animal, and cell culture data. These mechanisms include activation of the free fatty acid receptors, 2-FFAR, leading to increased glucagon-like peptide secretion, increased AMPK activation, leading to increased fatty acid oxidation, leading to increased GLP-1 secretion, and increased AMPK activation. So why is this important? Because this potentially leads to improved insulin sensitivity, increased blood flow to the peripheral tissues, increased satiety, leading to lower food intake. Caveat: the review also discusses why these mechanisms appear more effective in non-diabetics than diabetics. This is so important, especially in terms of increased satiety leading to lower food intake. Let's get back to recovery from sugar addiction. The most important thing I had to do in order to recover from sugar addiction was manage my hunger, manage my appetite, because ever since I was about 6 years old, I discovered that so many of the foods that are nourishing and satisfying and normal to other people just make me hungry. Foods like bread, oats, pasta, and even some high sugar fruits like bananas and grapes. And I couldn't understand, because I was the youngest of a large family, the majority of my other family members had no problem managing their eating. They could eat a turkey sandwich and not want 5 more turkey sandwiches. They could eat a bowl of cereal and not want 5 more bowls of cereal. So what I never understood is why I was affected so differently by the foods that I was eating. My research and my life experience have taught me that I react differently to certain foods. So this is what qualifies me as a person with sugar addiction. Other people can eat certain foods, but if I try to eat them, I simply can't stop. That a great deal of my recovery from sugar addiction has simply come from replacing the foods that trigger my hunger with foods that nourish and satisfy me. But there's a really good reason that I have been drinking apple cider vinegar in water for so many years, is when I don't have my ACV and my lemon juice in water, I get hungry at 3 o'clock. And who knows, maybe it's because I think I'm gonna get hungry, or I assume I'm going to get hungry, but on the few occasions when I don't have the ACV right around 3, I am always hungrier than when I have it. And it's been since 2013 that I've been drinking this tonic every day, and believe me, I wouldn't be going to the expense or the effort of getting the lemons and getting the ACV if it wasn't effective. I think the best thing about being a regular person in a long-term recovery from sugar addiction is that I get to look at my recovery and then work backwards and say, okay, I am recovered. I am at a normal, healthy weight. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm not eating sugar. I'm not binging. I'm not overeating. Let me work backwards and see what it is that I am doing that is so effective. And that is what I love sharing with my audience here on the Sugar Freedom channel. So of course, as I always do, I'm going to urge you to read the article, read the study, and see if it applies to you, and see if it resonates with your experience. So I sincerely hope that you'll read the article and look at the study and see if it resonates for you. Because as always, I want you to be well and eat for yourself. But in order to eat for yourself, you have to find what works for you. Until next time, thanks for watching the Sugar Freedom channel.